my first love was a man who didn't want me. So, like, my first love was a situationship, girl.
Welcome to the Awkward Black Girl Web Show. It's not a podcast because we have too many of those. Hosted by me, Daria.
Yeah. Okay, I had to make sure it was working. Hi, welcome to the Awkward Black Girl Web Show. It's not a podcast because we have too many of those. Hosted by me, Daria, your residential black girl, residential awkward black girl. Y'all, I'm always gonna fuck up the intro. Please, I'm always gonna mess it up. I'm trying my best.
I look crazy. Just know my makeup look boo boo ass, like shit from butt. I looked dead inside because I have an injury, so all I've been doing is sleeping. You can literally see how swollen I am, but I just wanted to look put together, so I threw on some makeup, and it looked like I threw it on for sure. So I'ma just need y'all to ignore all of that. Thank you.
Today is the long awaited relationship episode. Also, if you're wondering why my setup is different, I don't know. Sometimes the pink background be throwing off the color balance. A, B, I have an injury right now. I like pinched a nerve or something. I don't know. My neck is swollen at the moment on one side, which is what I'm covering with my hair. So trying to set up my usual setup and sit on the floor was too much. So I'm doing my normal like setup. I don't have a proper tripod. Baby, you was sitting on my makeup case right now. I hope you know that. Today is the long awaited relationship episode. It's only long awaited because that's all y'all want to talk about. Niggas. That's all y'all want to talk about. Please, let's talk about something else. Also, if you notice the last episode is now gone, it's just because I was in such a bad mood when I made that video. And I like to be in good spirits. And I was like, something had happened that really pissed me off, so that's why I wasn't in a good mood that episode. And I like these videos to be engaging and fun, so I just don't want to put myself like that out on the internet, so I took it down. This is technically episode 3, but on the YouTube it's going to show up as episode 2. We do have a few topics to discuss in this relationship episode. And honestly, one of the canon events when you're an awkward black girl is being the black situationship before the longtime white girlfriend, or being the black manic pixie dream girl. And this is something I've been wanting to talk about so long on like a social media platform, but a TikTok simply wasn't enough. I've made TikToks about it, but I need to sit here and have like a 40-minute conversation with y'all about it. And if I was in a not happy place in my love life, maybe this video was have a different tone, but I'm actually quite content with my love life at the moment. So I could talk about these things and not get angry. Before, I probably would have gotten very angry, maybe a little emotional. So that's why I'm able to talk about these things like so easily. Because I'm in a good spot right now. Let me literally tell you how I managed to be in a good spot in my relationship that's not necessarily correlated to another person. Literally back in October. Also, y'all, please ignore my laundry in the background, please. Today's reset Sunday. It'll get done. Anyways, so basically, back in like October, after a very intense 1 month fling, as they always are, um, a man was like, "I can't do this," and I was like, "What do you fucking mean?" So I crashed out. Not over him, but over the principle of the situation. It had me very fucked up. And I wasn't seeing my therapist for like a couple of more days. So I just had to crash out about it, right? And literally after that crash out, something clicked in my brain where I was like, none of this fucking matters. Ever since then, I've had incredible peace over my love life. I literally realized that my relationships with other people is so out of my control. Like I can't. Obviously I do my part as the other person in the relationship, other person in the connection. But at the end of the day, I can't make nobody be with me. I can't make nobody marry me. I can't make nobody spend the rest of their life with me. I can't make nobody ask me out on dates. I can't make nobody love me. I realized that though I thought I released control over that part of my life, I really didn't. And that day I truly surrendered to what the universe had in store with me in that part of my life. And I realized that though this is something that I want, I can't let it rule my mental the way that it does. And so, and from that point on, like I don't really center my life around men. Even when I'm in a relationship, I really don't. But I really, really, really like decentered men. Yes, I was still dating. Yes, I was on the dating apps. I did take a break, however. I didn't start again until like January. I started trying to date again, but I did take a break. But literally I just started to become incredibly unimpressed by men. I was too easily impressed, and a lot of that comes from my childhood and adolescence as an awkward black girl. I did not date. I didn't start dating for real until I was 20. I didn't get my first boyfriend until I was 21, and I was not with that man. I wasn't with that man even 6 months, right? And so I always, it's one, I think we all idolize love and romantic connection because we're human. It's something we're craving. It's innate to us. And I don't think anything's wrong with that. But I think I started to wrap up my identity around it due to the lack thereof, right? Because I had never experienced love, I thought something was like fundamentally wrong with not only me, but my life because I hadn't experienced something so many people had experienced yet. I couldn't say that I had a boyfriend yet or anything like that. And oftentimes, because especially once I got to college, and I mean explicitly when I got to college, like I didn't kiss a boy, go on a date, anything like that before I went to college. That means when I went to college, I did everything wrong, baby, everything wrong, everything wrong. And I didn't start getting it right until maybe 6 months ago. I'm gonna be so real with you, and I'm about to turn 23 in August. Like I I had delayed mess ups. Like a lot of people they fuck up in high school and early college. I fucked up pretty much all of college and part of post grad because I was delayed in that way cuz I didn't experience love in high school like everyone else or in early college. Like I didn't my first love was a man who didn't want me. So ugh, like my first love was a situationship, girl. Please, like, and all that comes from me being an awkward black girl. Now, I've said this before in the first episode. That is informed by the fact that I was a black girl growing up in a predominantly black, like white area in the later half of my adolescence. Because I spent the first half of my childhood in Louisiana. I spent the second half in suburbia Texas. So therefore, in a lot of cases, I was the only black person in the room. um the There was rarely any other black boys in the room. If there was other black people, they were usually girls. So that means that I usually formed proximity attraction to whoever was around, which was mostly white boys with a few sprinklings of others. But also living in a predominantly non-black area, I was not the beauty standard, right? So that meant that I was usually in unrequited love type situations. My feelings were usually not reciprocated, and if boys was attracted to me, it was something that was very slight, that would like they would show their attraction in little ways, but they couldn't outright say that I like you or find you attractive, because you couldn't say you found the black girl cute or that you wanted to be with the black girl, because you're supposed to want the white girls. And so there was times where I could tell, like, oh, somebody who's not black was maybe feeling me, maybe, but because I'm black, they fundamentally could not say that. And honestly, I'm only saying, and honestly, I'm not even saying that to make myself feel better. I'm saying, like, no, there were definitely things that were done that if they weren't attracted to me, they wouldn't have done. But because they could not get past the fact that I was black, they could not say that out loud. And then once I got into college, times worsen that by 10, because think about, they had complete access to me in ways that at least those boys didn't in high school, because like it wouldn't even get that far because we're in high school, but in college it would get that far. But they would still hide me. People didn't know about me. They wouldn't post me online. They wouldn't even take me on dates, etc., etc. And I would just let it happen because I was just like, well, this is as close as it's going to get. And then guess what? As soon as they broke up with me, as soon as they cut things off, you know who they was posting? That white bitch. Mm-hmm. And that's when I realized I was the black situation before the serious white girlfriend. They are sexually attracted to to black women, but who they see themselves with long term, who they see as wifey material, is not black women. And I didn't have the discernment enough when I was younger to know that them being attracted to me didn't automatically mean that they liked me, right? And so y'all may be like, well, what about black men? Babe, I was an artist. I studied fashion design. For the first part of my college experience, a lot of my dating was limited to who was around me, and there's not a lot of straight men in fashion or dating apps, or like school events. But I started school in COVID, so I didn't start going to school events until damn near my junior year, halfway through college, right? So I was heavily dependent on dating apps, which is one of the topics somebody wanted me to talk about. So when you're an awkward black girl, I feel like we end up being so dependent on dating apps because people will not approach us in public. Um, and I will not approach other people in public typically because I am really awkward. So I don't want to approach you, but if you approach me because I'm really awkward, I'm more likely to like not even do nothing with it, or I get so overwhelmed like it just don't go nowhere. And also I'm quite pretty if I do say so myself. Men don't approach pretty women like that in public period. So then imagine you're also like kind of artsy fartsy and your personality is kind of very whimsical and you're not just a stereotypical like baddie. It's even more like they want to approach you in public. But then also sometimes I think about because of the fact that I wasn't a stereotypical bad may have deterred them to like want to be seen with me or approach me because I didn't fit the bill of what they're supposed to be looking for when they're looking at black girls. Also, most black boys that I talked to in college were on the same type of timing as the non-black boys, but I was able to pick it up on it quicker because I grew up with I grew up with black people. I have an older brother. Like I'm able to pick up on the game quicker. But the non-black men, I grew up with them. I didn't know their game, so I was like getting played more often because I didn't know. Let me tell you, you know what's something I can appreciate about black men? They gonna let you know what the fuck it is straight up, and that's how I knew the dip. Non-black men though, they gonna play that long motherfucking game. They gonna play it, and if you ain't grow up with them, you not gonna catch it. You not gonna catch it. I didn't grow up with, around like with non-black people. Though I grew up around them, but I didn't grow up with them. You know what I mean? They weren't integral to my life experience necessarily. I only pretty much kept black friends, black female friends growing up and a few gay male friends. But other than that, like I didn't grow up like this with non-black people to know their game. But yeah, non-black men, they be playing the long motherfucking game, bitch. They gonna woo you. They gonna woo you until they get what they want, and then they're just gonna bounce like as if they didn't do all that shit. But black men are very direct in what they want from you typically, and because I grew up with them, I could peep it. You know, so that's also a thing. It's not that black I never talked to black guys in college. It's just that I was able to peep quicker when it wasn't gonna work out because I grew up with them. I know what it looks like. Non-black men, I ain't know what it looked like until I got older. So I was getting played more often. But also like non-black men at least do the, love bombing of it all to like get you in there. Black men don't really they didn't love bomb me. So maybe that's why I also bounce. Like they wasn't at least trying to take me out on dates and shit and like at least fool me a little bit. They'll just tell me what it is. Anyways, that being said, yeah, I was heavily dependent on dating apps because of the career field I chose. Texas is a big ass motherfucking state. It's not very so as someone said, like it's not a very social state where people just go up to each other and to strangers and just speak. Like I'm from Louisiana, so like it's very normal to strike up conversations with strangers. Like we don't treat anyone like a stranger. But despite Texas being in the South, it's really not like that. Like it's still very individualistic in a lot of ways. So a lot of people kind of stick to their own groups. People don't really mingle like that. So I'm heavily dependent on dating apps. Not only that, I am unfortunately a person you need to see that face card. Okay, you need to not hear me speak because if they hear me speak, they're gonna see that I'm the president of Yap Country and they're gonna be like, oh, so she's not just a pretty face, she got a mouth too. And most men don't like women with a mouth. Which if you're a man who don't like women with a mouth, then you're not for me anyway. I need you to be able to hear me talk for hours or else. But I found that like pretty much all relationships I've been in, like my first boyfriend I met on a dating app. My next boyfriend, met him on a dating app. Most guys I've talked to, there's very few guys I've met in real life. Most of them I've met on a dating app. And it's just literally it's also easier for me to navigate because like I can put my best foot forward because you're not catching me off guard in person where I could potentially clam up and get awkward. I do feel like, and I've always felt this way, I am a person who gets like phone anxiety. I don't really like FaceTiming people. I don't really like talking on the phone. I prefer text. I'm a person who prefers text message, even with my own family. Like I get awkward on the phone or on FaceTime. Even with people I've known my whole life, I get awkward. And so I always prefer text, and I think that's also why I prefer dating apps is because the first line of communication is text. It's virtual. So I just kind of feel more at ease than if I'm forced to have like an in-person interaction or like talk on the phone or FaceTime. Sometimes it feels a little embarrassing to always be like, yeah, every man I've met pretty much has been on a dating app, but it is more normalized. But now people are showing to drift away from dating apps. And I would like to be one of those people, but I'm so dependent on them because the type of person I want, I simply cannot meet out in the wild because of what I do, because of what I enjoy, being an awkward black girl. I would like to be a person who goes to the speakeasies and the jazz bars and the clubs more often, especially since there's ones that are more black focused, especially if we live in Dallas. Like there are definitely ones that are definitely more black focused and I could meet more people that look like me. But to be honest, I spend most of my days going to work as a fashion designer. I am heavily dependent on dating apps as an awkward black girl, and honestly it is the most comfortable way for me to meet new people. And though it and I don't know, like I enjoy the process of being able to weed people out and to peep something I don't like and to know their demographics right away instead of having to do the awkward like what do you do? How old are you? Where are you from? It's already on your profile and I don't have to go through that initial awkwardness of like getting to know each other, which I know that's like the beauty of it. And but like those initial demographics, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite food? Like I kind of like just being able to go in kind of knowing some surface level things about you instead of having to do the old dance of trying to get to know those basic demographics about you cuz that always is the awkward part for me. So what's your last name? Where are you from? What's your birthday? What's your sign? Favorite food? You ever been out the country? Like I kind of like being able to know at least the surface level things about like what's your name, nationality, how old are you, like right away instead of having to awkwardly ask you. And people's like it doesn't have to be awkward. It's me, so it will be. It's me, so it will be. You know what I mean? Um, and so I know that's like something a lot of people probably don't want to hear, but as an awkward black girl, I kind of do prefer dating apps in certain ways. But I also hate them in a lot of ways because it does feel so disposable and so gross in a lot of ways of kind of like flipping through a catalog of people. But I am so like rigid and particular that in some ways I also kind of like it. And that is probably not a popular opinion. And maybe even some other awkward black girls don't agree with me with this. Now I am on the mentally ill neurodivergent spectrum of it all. I like group myself in with neurodivergent people because my brain does work differently, even though I don't have like ADHD, autism, that I know of. Babe, I've thought about getting retested because I've been tested before as a kid. But my brain does obviously work different and I have mental illness. So I group myself in with y'all. As somebody who's like on the mentally ill neurodivergent spectrum, I kind of like the rigidity and the patterns of it all and I know what to expect. I can't have that with in real life people. So that's why there's a bit more comfortability with dating apps for me. But and the thing is, I've tried to hate them and I've tried to get away from them. But we now live in such a antisocial culture, which though I'm very awkward and though in real life interactions of dating make me very awkward, I do like the initial like fun of, talking to people. I am actually an extrovert, an awkward one, but I am one. And I know a lot of people are like, a lot of these things sound like contradictions. That is the human experience. The human experience is one big contradiction. It's never really meant to make sense. So I am one as well. So are you. Right. We're all a big contradiction. I'm actually an extreme extrovert. I love talking to people. It's just like with men, I clam up because I don't have experience. Because what? I didn't date until I was 20 years old. So I ain't got that game. I ain't got that pull. I ain't got that comfortability. Every man that's ever hit on me in person, this is what happens. um, um, that's literally what happens. I'm so like I'm being dead ass right now. I just giggle because I don't know what the fuck to do. I don't know what to do, especially if I'm not attracted to them. It's even harder. I giggle. Um, But if you're approaching me on some friendly type shit, oh babe, we could talk all day, have fun all night. But if you're approaching me on that type of time, and I get awkward immediately, and it's honestly embarrassing to witness. I feel so bad for my friends the few times they've had to witness me do this. I know they were getting secondhand embarrassment, but I literally can't control it. Like I've tried, I can't. So yeah, I kind of in some ways prefer dating apps. Also, like I don't know, like I'm a very straightforward communicator, but I'm also very sarcastic and I have like a very unique sense of humor that a lot of people don't understand. So that's like the disadvantages of like communicating purely virtually and meeting people virtually. Like I said, some people don't really understand my humor and most people are really dry and boring and I'm just not that. But that also means it's really fraught with miscommunication, which is another topic somebody wanted me to talk about. Like because I communicate differently and I communicate in a way don't make sense for me, it doesn't necessarily make sense for other people. So miscommunications are fraught. Like I'm somebody who has miscommunications an unnatural amount. Even when Mercury's not in retrograde, I will have a miscommunication with somebody just because like the way I perceive it in my head, I think it's funny or I think I'm being very direct. But then other people be like, girl, this sounded rude as fuck. And I'm like, wait, no, wait. Where we got that from? I thought I was just being a direct and good communicator. I also tend to like pick on people like when I'm being funny because that's how like me and my friends and my family work and some people aren't used to that either. So like miscommunications but it's like the sense of humor naturally formed over the years. I'm sorry. I don't do skitty boop boop toilet whatever the fuck it is. I don't think that shit is funny. Like I need my jokes to have layers, some sarcasm, a little bit of egotism, a little bit of maybe meanness but not like crassness. Like I need my humor to be layered. And I realize most humans don't work like that. Most humans do still use the Doge memes. Like, the world is very boring. I'm so happy I exist, or else the world would be so boring without me. Oh my god! Like, have y'all actually talked to like NPCs? Like, I realized this long time ago. Some people are just like a shell. They're a shell. They operate based off of somebody pressing the buttons and telling them to jump and go left and right. They don't have like actual in-depth personalities and individual sense of self. Those people are fucking terrifying. Most of the world is like that, sweetie. Most of the world is like that. So when they encounter a real bitch like me who actually like is fully conscious, they get scared real fast. And I'm gonna be honest, yeah, I've scared a lot of men away. And what about it? I'm just too real for these niggas. I really am too real for these niggas and these bitches. A lot of people are just they ain't got like I didn't realize people could be so void until like the last year or two. I was like, damn, something is wrong. Like I thought we all got consciousness around like 4 years old or something. But I got mine a little early. I got my consciousness around 2. And maybe that's the difference. Some of y'all still ain't got y'all fucking consciousness. Y'all still babies. I think that's what the problem is. Yeah, like miscommunications happen all the time, but how you gonna get with a black Manic Pixie Dream Girl and then be thrown off when I say weird shit? That's kind of the point. Right? Which let me talk about that. I always have to say specifically black Manic Pixie Dream Girl because being a white Manic Pixie Dream Girl or just like a non-black one and a black one is two very different things. You know what? I'm gonna take you to the whiteboard. Actually, that's a calendar, so I can't use it like a whiteboard. I'm gonna edit some graphics in and we're gonna make a whiteboard. Okay? Okay, let me take you to the whiteboard. To find a pointer, all I can find is a straw. Okay. So I'm looking at my monitor so I can make sure I'm pointing correctly. Okay, so over here we have the black Manic Pixie Dream Girls. Over here we have white. Then in the middle is where they share. Y'all know how a fucking Venn diagram work, anyways. So they do have a few things in common. Is that they're full of whimsy, probably neurodivergent, probably mentally ill, probably have some sort of parental issues, probably have cool hair or makeup or style. They have some common things. But here's the thing. The white one, they gonna get shown off. They'll get posted. He gonna show the white one off, okay? Right? He might actually make the white one a girlfriend, actually, right? and they could be in a relationship for a decently long time. I see these people last for, up to a year, 6 months to a year. You never know. Black girls, we when you're a black Manic Pixie Dream girl, you don't get the girlfriend type. We stop at girl. Okay, the white ones, they can become girlfriends. The black ones, we don't tend to become girlfriends. We tend to be situationships, friends with benefits, hookups. You know, casual type situations. Nobody knows about us. We never get posted. We are typically banished to the depths of that man's Snapchat messages or Instagram DMs. Okay, at least when you white, you'll actually get his phone number, maybe. Um, when you're black, you might not even. You'll be lucky if you get one of the social medias, but that phone number, you may never get it, sweetie. Nobody knows about you. He will never post you. Um, and this will forever be a situationship. You will never become a girlfriend. These situations could last just as long as the white man and pixie dream girl situations, but it's gonna be terribly on and off. Oh, they share that in common too. They tend to be on and off, but it's more extreme with the black man and pixie dream girls. Okay, but these situations are definitely more short-lived because as soon as he finds the white version of you or even a basic Becky, he's leaving immediately. He might initially try to fight with his relationship with the white one, but with you, the black one, he's gonna leave immediately. So here's the Venn diagram and the difference between the black manic pixie dream girl and the white ones. Similar, but very, very different fundamentally. Related to any of the things I just said, I'm so sorry, sweetie. You found the right place though. You and me, we are one and the same. 'Cause, babe, I done been through it all. My therapist had to hear all about it. That's the only reason why I could joke about it now. I tear up a little bit, but that's the reason why I could joke about it now. Lots of therapy. I've been in therapy for 3 years. Lots of therapy. That's the only way I could get through this. Honestly, that's all I have to say on the relationship sector. We knew niggas ain't shit. I ain't have to say that. I feel like that's implied. Oh, well, maybe I should have a positive. There is a positive. The positive is if you stay true to yourself long enough, somebody will come along who like you just how you is, who gonna show you off, who gonna tell the whole world about you. And you ain't gotta worry about conforming. You ain't gotta worry to you ain't gotta worry about like changing. You ain't gotta beg them to post you, show you off, claim you, make things official. They just will. The worst thing you could do as an awkward black girl when it comes to dating is to conform or change. Because I tried doing that for the first few years where of my adulthood, and if anything, it only made things worse because I was so focused on trying to conform to be perfect, I didn't even realize the person I was conforming for wasn't even fucking worth it. You should conform for no one, but at least if you gonna attempt to, they should be worth a damn. And most of the time, you're going to be so focused on trying to be normal and be the girl of his dreams and make him commit that you won't even realize he is not the man you should want and that he ain't worth a damn. A penny, no a dime, not even a nickel. Okay? So that's my biggest advice. Be yourself and decenter men. Oh my God. Please, that's my biggest advice because us awkward black girls have been typically we've had bad not good luck in dating. A lot of us are late bloomers, didn't date until later in life, you know because we've been deprived of it for so long. It starts to become, like I said, one with our identity, to where we start to form our opinion of ourselves around it, the quality of our life around it. The moment you feel yourself doing that, baby, I need you to go get a hobby so fast. Go get more friends, get closer with your family, do something but worry about that. Wanting love is very normal, very natural. Even during times where I decentered men, I still was dating. It starts to become a problem when your identity feels tied to this missing piece in your life, where you feel like you are not a whole person yet because you do not have something, where you can everything else in your life could be totally normal, but this is one part You always find yourself crashing out over, crying about, having sleepless nights about, because you feel so incomplete because you don't have it. And I'm not saying this from a point of judgment, because that was my life up until very recently, where I would have sleepless nights about it. I would cry about it constantly. I used to feel like my life wasn't going to be worth anything if I didn't end up having a partner in the end. And I kind of had to realize that this is something I have to release control over. And though it's very normal and very human to want romantic relationships, at a certain point, the amount of value we put into that determining our quality of life starts to become detrimental. You get what I'm saying? 'Cause you should put yourself out there. You should date. You should try. But it should not be a defining feature of whether or not you have a good life. If you It should not be the thing you have to check off to say that at the end of the day, I love my life. When you die, right? And I this sounds extreme, but I always have to frame it like this. When you die, the worst situation you could be in is all you think about is the love that you didn't have, instead of recognizing the love that you have. And you don't want to be 80 years old thinking about how you spent all of your 20s and 30s letting men drag you, or spend all of your 20s and 30s worried about getting a nigga that you didn't wasn't trying to get after the life that was meant for you, or was already right in front of you. There has to be a balance. You can want love, but it needs to not be a defining feature of your life, of your quality of life. And on that note, we're going to get into Daria's favorite. Yeah. Okay, first thing we're going to talk about is my hair. So for the first time in a long time, I got my hair braided by someone else, because I'm starting to get to the point in my life where I'm a little too busy to braid my own hair. And like, she ate, y'all. She ate down. She didn't chew, nibble. She gobbled this hair up. I've had my hair done for 4 weeks, and obviously we have new growth, especially like, when you get to the part. But for 4 weeks, babe, this is not bad at all. And I haven't touched it up any. I haven't laid my edges the whole time I've had my hair done. Like, she ate gobbled. Like, for my hair to still look this good after I've had these braids for a month, and for them to still look this good for not this. Yeah, she devoured. She is based in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I got my hair done back home over Mardi Gras, and I will be traveling back home to Louisiana to get my hair done by her again, because she just ate. She ate down. Next thing is gonna be my nails. My nail tech ate down. Y'all, like, I've gotten so many compliments on this nail set. I get my nails done again next week. Yes, they're a bit grown out, but the fact that they still look this flawless, and it's been almost 4 weeks since I got my nails done. If you don't follow me on TikTok, then you probably don't know this, but I go to the Spiritual Nail Tech in Addison, Texas. Oh my God, me and Bridget have been locked in for over 3 years now. That is my girl. I'm always bringing her some bullshit and being like, can you do it? And she always executes. Like, people love these nails and I love them. I'm like, damn, I started off the year a little too strong. Like, how the fuck am I gonna think of something better than this? And I have to get my nails. I'm like, I'm already worried that my birthday set won't be able to compare with this. It's for my last favorite is actually going to be my garden. For once, I'm going to take y'all somewhere outside of my room. So come along. So we are outside on my balcony. We are going to take a look at the garden. I really hope wasps don't come and attack me while I'm doing this. Okay. Can y'all see that? I have just 5 planters, but most of them have multiple things in it. Oh, I see another broccoli plant. Broccoli seedling is trying to sprout. I'm going to have to pick that out. But anyways, so in this first container is lettuce and broccoli. I accidentally planted lettuce in here. It was supposed to just be broccoli, but you live and you learn. Okay. Next one is gonna be just lettuce. I just thinned these two plants out yesterday. They were much fuller, but I thinned them out just so my seedlings can get bigger. So, fun fact: when you're gardening, when your seedlings start to sprout, you actually have to kind of pick out the more immature ones every once in a while. So the more mature ones can continue to get bigger, stronger, and you can get more from it. So you see this big plant in the center, that is going to be a broccoli plant. All the little seedlings around it is going to be lettuce. And I actually need to thin some more of these broccoli plants in a couple of days. This next container is going to be green beans. I have one green bean plant going strong. Some things definitely take longer to germinate, grow, depending on like the type of plant it is. This is also a bush bean variety. You do see the other two ones that I planted starting to sprout. I think I could have up to two of these plants in this container. So we'll see. Next is my spinach container. So this, oh, also, I totally forgot. There's basil in here too, but it hasn't quite sprouted yet. Um, it's getting there. I'm not really worried. I get a little bit of inconsistent sun out here on my balcony, so I actually regularly rotate them to make sure they're all getting enough sun. So yeah, you can see the sun is starting to come out a little bit on my balcony already. Next is gonna be my spinach. Once again, we only have a few, but they're going strong. And last is going to be my carrots and oregano. Both things have sprouted. So the little ones are oregano, and then the taller ones are going to be my carrots. I haven't watered today yet. It's been really humid and kind of wet, and we just got rain last night. So I haven't watered. But this is my little apartment balcony garden. I know some people think you have to have like some big giant backyard in order to garden. You don't. I It took me about $85 ish, 90. I know it took me under $100 to set up this whole project. Yeah, this is definitely one of my biggest favorites is my garden. I was scared that I wasn't going to be a green thumb and I would end up hating this hobby, but it's so peaceful every morning to step out into the sun and water and to just be one with nature. It's also kind of desensitized me to bugs a little bit because you're going to have to get used to bugs when you garden. So, and I'm somebody who notoriously hate bugs. So, the fact that something's been able to desensitize me, amazing. So, that is today's episode. Yes, we're gonna finish it outside. Just know you are worthy of love at every stage you are in your life, and whether or not you're in a relationship should not define or determine you. And if you ever start to get to that point in life where it does feel like it is, find other things that fulfill you. For me, it's my garden. What is it for you? Anyways, I'll see y'all next month.